Hey guys, it's Sarah with AmericanTrucks.com, and today we have a review and install of the Magnaflow 4-inch DPF series single exhaust system side exit, fitting your 17 through 19 6.7 liter Power Stroke F250 and 350 SuperDuties. This off-road Pro Series DPF back exhaust will add some improved sound and style to your F250 or 350. This exhaust system all around is larger than factory. It features 4-inch stainless steel tubing with 5-inch cooled satin black tips. I'm going to give this exhaust a 2 out of 5 on the loudness meter. With the piping larger and the resonator at the back eliminated, you will get some improved sound. However, it's not going to blow your eardrums out because the DPF is intact, and that is the most restrictive part of this diesel exhaust system. Coming in at around $650, this is a great way to improve the sound and the look of your exhaust without breaking the bank. I'm giving this install 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. It can be done in approximately 2 hours, but it may require cutting of the piping on certain models. So it could take some extra time to get the adjustability just right, but once you do, this exhaust looks great installed. For this install, we used an impact gun, a ratchet, 15 and 10 millimeter sockets, a 24 millimeter wrench, a 10 millimeter ratcheting wrench, and an exhaust hanger removal tool. All right, so the first step before we can remove our exhaust is to remove the O2 sensor in the overaccent pipe if you have a 6-7. Now we hit this with a little PB blaster around the threads just to make it easier on us. So grab your 24 millimeter wrench or O2 sensor wrench and let's get this removed. Grab this and hang it out of the way so it doesn't get damaged while we're removing our exhaust. All right, so at this point, we're gonna remove the nuts that hold our extension pipe to the DPF and the rest of your exhaust so that we can remove it. Grab a 15 millimeter socket and let's get these off. Next up, remove the nuts on the back of the extension pipe holding it to your exhaust. So at this point, we're going to remove the exhaust hanger by removing the 5 10 millimeter bolts that are holding it in. We're going to start with the 2 farther up bolts. There's 2 that hold it on the back side of this part of the frame, and then we're going to get these 3 underneath. Using a ratcheting 10 millimeter wrench, remove these top 2 bolts. Now we can remove the 3 bolts holding this plate on underneath the frame. We're going to use a ratchet and also an impact gun with a 10 millimeter socket to remove these. All right, so the only thing holding the back tailpipe of our exhaust on is this last hanger, and we're gonna remove that now. Using our hanger removal tool, make sure you support this. You may wanna grab a friend for this step. All right, now that we have our factory exhaust uninstalled from our truck, we can put it side by side with our Magnaflow exhaust and really check out some of the similarities and differences. Now right off the bat, you may have noticed the Magnaflow tips are quite a bit larger than factory. They do still feature a side exit configuration and cooling vents similar to factory, but they are 5 inches and feature a nice satin black finish. Now the Magnaflow piping is also larger, coming in at 4 inches, where the factory is 3.5. The Magnaflow exhaust also removes that small resonator at the rear, bringing some improved sound to your Power Stroke. All right, with that said, let's get our hangers transferred over to our new exhaust. All right, so we do have to remove the 2 hangers at the front of our factory exhaust so we can reuse these for our Magnaflow. Using your hanger removal tool or by hand, work it towards the front of the hanger. and repeat that with the other one. All right, so we're gonna bolt this exhaust hanger bracket back onto the truck to make it a little easier to install our new exhaust. Using a 10mm socket, tighten these down. Using a 10mm ratcheting wrench, tighten down the bolts on the frame. All right, so the first step in our install is to mount this flange up to the back of our DPF. Now it is worth noting you will have to reuse the factory gasket here because one is not included, but if you'd like to purchase one, you can do that and put it on yourself. So line up the flange with each of the studs, grab the factory nuts, and thread them on. Grab your 15mm socket and tighten these down. All right, so we have our extension pipe here, and depending on the model of your truck, you're gonna have to cut this to different lengths to fit. We have a crew cab short bed, 6'7", so we're gonna have to cut this 26.5 inches, which we've marked here, and that is a measurement of how much gets cut out. Make sure that you're cutting towards the far section and not the section that's notched so it can fit to the rest of your exhaust. So with our mark made, let's cut our extension pipe. All right, so we have the extension pipe piece that we just cut. We have our over axle section. We're gonna join these now because it will be a little bit easier than doing it on the truck. All right, now we can work it over the axle. All right, we have our over axle pipe right here for now. We're gonna put our clamps in place and then we're gonna get these attached. Slide the first clamp over the flange end, and we're also gonna slide our hanger clamp over the flange end for now to keep it in place. Slide your third clamp over our pipe section. And now we can lift our pipe in place. At this point we can push up on the exhaust and get the hangers installed. All right, next up we're going to slide one of our clamps over our over axle pipe and let it hang out up top so we can get our tailpipe installed. Next up, slide the hanger clamp over your tailpipe section and get this in place. At this point, with your tailpipe supported, line up the hanger and get it installed. Once that's in place, let's tighten down our clamps. All right, starting at the very frontmost clamp, get it in place. And with a 15mm socket, tighten it down. Next up, tighten down the hanger clamp and then the next clamp in line. Finally, tighten down the clamps holding on your tailpipe and the tailpipe hanger. All right, at this point we can put our O2 sensor back. But before we do that, we're gonna put a little bit of anti-seize into the threads on the bung of our exhaust. This should help if we ever have to remove the O2 sensor again. Grab the O2 sensor from where you tucked it out of the way, line it up with the bung and get it started. Grab your 24mm wrench and tighten it down. Make sure you tuck away the cable at the end of your O2 sensor to ensure it doesn't move anywhere. All right, that is gonna do it for the review and install of this Magnaflow exhaust. Remember, for all things Ford, keep it at AmericanTrucks.com.